Good morning, my dear students, and a very warm welcome to all of you in this e-learning program. Welcome to Science by Harsha ma'am. Friends, now in our today's session, we are going to discuss about a natural phenomena, which is the most destructible one that is occurring on the land. We have already done about the lightning, right? Now, in our today's session, we are going to discuss about the earthquake. They are the most frightening and destructive phenomena that is occurring on the earth. Not only India, but whole of the world is facing these problems. If you just check out daily, then even in the yesterdays as well as in today's, if you just search out, you'll find out the minor earthquakes are constantly going on. But earthquake about some particular level is very dangerous and it has caused a huge problem. If we talk about the five major earthquakes that has been a problem for India, then among those, the very first one that has that had caused the major destruction, and the earthquake was of the intensity of about 8.1. It was in Bihar that occurred on January 15 in 1934. Then on January 26, 2001, your parents might have witnessed it. It happened in Gujarat and the magnitude was of about 7.7. A major destruction. Whole of the Kutch Bush was terribly in the like it was in a very bad situation. It was a major earthquake, and you know, uh, even I had witnessed it, and it was like you. It was the first time ever I had experienced, and even many of uh, your parents or someone they might have experienced. Maharashtra, the magnitude was 6.4 that had occurred on 30th of September 1993. Then Assam of the magnitude of 8.6 on 15th August 1915. Then in Uttarakhand 6.1 magnitude on 20 October 1991. So, five major earthquakes that have struck India in the past. This is the history about it, and the major like problem people are facing is uh, like the buildings fall and the major destruction happens. People like uh, they get just stuck off over there. There is nothing. Even the telephone lines, all the towers, they go like they are not reachable. So, this is what we are going to talk about today. We are going to talk about frightening and the destructive phenomena that is earthquake. So, earthquakes are the most frightening and destructive phenomena of nature, and scientific studies of earthquakes they are uncontrollable. We cannot say that okay, stop it. There is no way to stop it. It is a natural phenomena, nor it is predictable. Sometimes, okay, the prediction is done, but not in all the cases. Scientists are trying their best so that they can at least predict where the earthquake is going to come, so that all those people who are residing in that place they can be shifted, and all the important things can be shifted so that it doesn't get destructed. Because, uh, like in the hands of nature, we can do nothing. We can do nothing for this criteria also. Now, first, let us study about what is the structure of the earth and how it is. You have studied about this in your lower standard that basically earth is containing three things. this is about the structure of the earth. Earth appears to be of the smooth one, but actually it is not that smooth. Nearly spherical in shape, but because it is containing hills, valleys, plains, rivers, all that things, because of it, that is the lakes, oceans, thick forests, deserts that are present on the surface of the earth is not completely a sphere. So, so many ups and downs, yet earth appears to be smooth and spherical. So, this is the outer layer of the earth, which is generally called as crust, and this is its core. This is inner core, this is outer core. The layer between these two core is called as mantle. Okay, so this is about its structure. The outer layer crust, inner core, outer core, in between the two, the mantle. Now, how this core and this mantle came into existence? Okay, let us study that. Now, how the earth was, it is just believed that about 800 million years ago, what happened was, because of the influence of the gravity, all the molten mass of the earth, it started getting collected and it formed the core part, that is the heavier, and the heavier materials, they sank deeper into the earth, while the light particles, they floated about. The heavier particles, they form the core, and the lighter particles, they form the crust. The intermediate uh, material, they form the mantle, and this you have already studied in your lower standards. Now, coming to the important point, which is all the terms with respect to earthquake we will see just now. So, earthquake. What is earthquake? The sudden movement of the earth's crust by the abrupt that is caused by the abrupt release of strain or or accumulated in it over a long period of time. So that is called as an the earthquake. That is the sudden movement of the earth's crust. Let us understand all the definitions. So, what is earthquake? Once again, the sudden movement of the parts of the earth because of any strain is called as earthquake. How is the earthquake now formed? Basically, there are some kind of waves which get originated from some point, and these waves are responsible for the earthquake to occur. The next important point is seismic focus. What is this seismic focus now? Seismic focus, it is the point from where the shock waves of the earthquake are originating. It is below the earth. So, the point from where the shock waves of the earthquake they originate, it is called as seismic focus. It is also called as seismic origin or hypocenter. So, the another name of seismic focus is hypocenter or seismic focus. Okay, and if we talk about its depth, then it is located at about 60 kilometer below the surface of the earth. Okay, so I hope you are clear with the content. What is earthquake? The sudden movement of the earth's crust may be because of any of the thing that is caused by the abrupt release of the strain for a longer duration of the time, then earthquake will occur. Seismic, it is the point from where those waves which are creating the earthquake they originate, and what is where it is obtained? It is obtained at the depth of about 60 kilometers from the Earth's crust. And about the earthquake waves and seismic focus. Note down this, then we will move further. Also draw the structure of earth. Okay. So I hope you have noted down the content. Now let's move further on the next particular definition. So coming to the next definition, which is epicenter. Now what is an epicenter? This is the earth's crust, and here is the seismic focus. Now the point which is exactly above the seismic focus, vertically above the seismic focus, on the surface of the earth, that is called as epicenter. So vertically above the seismic focus, exactly above it, the point which we are having is called as epicenter. So what is epicenter? The point on the surface of the earth vertically above the seismic focus is called as epicenter. Okay, once again, what is earthquake? Earthquake is the sudden movement of the earth's crust. It may be because of the abrupt release of the strain on uh, anything that has got accumulated. And the seismic focus, it is the point from where the shock waves are originating. Shock waves which are causing the earthquake, they are originating from a point which is called as seismic focus. It is located at what depth? About 60 km below the earth's crust. Exactly above the seismic focus, you are having a point which is called as epicenter, and vertically it is located. Coming to the next part, which is focal depth. Now, what is the focal depth? This is the focal depth. That is the depth. The focal depth of the earthquake is the depth of the seismic focus below the earth's surface. You can say it is the distance between the epicenter and seismic focus. Okay, it is the depth of seismic focus below the surface. The depth of seismic focus below the Earth's surface is called as focal depth. Depending on the focal depth, we are having the various types of earthquakes. The earthquakes that are having the focal depth of about 60 to 70 kilometer, they are classified as shallow. Coming to the next point, that is from 70 to 300 kilometer, it is intermediate. The next, that is at the depth of more than 700 kilometer, it is classified as deep. Okay, so what we have discussed about the epicenter and the focal depth. What is the epicenter? It is the point which is vertically located above the seismic focus and uh, exactly vertically above the seismic focus it is located. It is at the depth of about 60 kilometer. Focal depth, it is the depth of seismic focus below the Earth's surface. This is the classification of the earthquake depending on the focal depth. 70 to 60, 60 to 70 kilometer is the shallow earthquake. 70 to 300 it is intermediate. More than 700 kilometer it is the deep earthquake. Note down this two particular definitions, then we will move further, that is the next particular definitions. Be quick. Now, let's move further on the next particular definitions. The next one is the seismic waves. The waves that are generated in the lithosphere due to the sudden movement of the Earth's crust are called as seismic waves or shock waves. Okay? Now, just now only I said you that about 8.1 and many numbers I took 8.1, 9.1, the various like 7.7, the various intensities of the earthquake that I started in the beginning with. Uh, the graph is also recorded and its values also noted, and the instrument which detects and records the intensity of the seismic waves that is called as the seismograph. So, what is seismograph? It is the instrument which detects and determines. That is called as seismograph or seismometer. Now, all that record is in the form of graphs. So, the graphical record of the intensity is called as seismogram. Okay, so this is about the seismograph. Next is the Richter scale. Richter scale is the scale which is used to describe the magnitude, that is the value of the earthquake. So the next definition is of Richter scale. What is Richter scale? The scale which gives the value or magnitude of the earthquake is called Richter scale. So, what we have discussed right now, we have discussed 3 points, that is seismic waves, seismograph, and the Richter scale. What are the seismic waves? Those waves that are generated whenever there is the earthquake, then the lithosphere will start its motion, and the shock waves which are created, they are called as seismic waves. Because these are the shock waves, they are called as seismic waves or shock waves. Then it is seismograph. It is the instrument which will detect and also record the intensity. It is in the form of graph. Okay, like this it is on, and there is a paper wrapped on the cylinder, as in how the earthquake will be there. It will show the intensity. When you will remove the paper, you will see the various intensity of the shock waves. So that is the normal instrument, which is seismograph. The graphical record of its intensity is called a seismogram. The intensity on this paper, that is called a seismogram. Then comes Richter scale. With the help of Richter scale, we can find out what is the magnitude of the earthquake. That means it is of what value. If you check out uh, on the net that how many earthquake took place, then it will give you of what intensity it is. So that intensity is, that is the value of the earthquake is determined by this Richter scale. So now please note down this definitions, and then we will move further. Okay, so the whole of the earthquake's basic terms are now completed, so please note down this. So I hope you have noted down this content. So I hope you are clear with the content. Let us have a quick recap on the part that we did today. What we started with? We started with what is earthquake, the phenomena which is very frightening and it causes major destructions. Scientists are trying their hard to check out about and to predict about the various earthquakes. Then we discussed about the layers of the earth's crust. There are three layers, that is the core, the mantle, and the crust. Crust is where all the lighter particles got accumulated, all the heavier particles they got sank deep inside the earth. That is the core part, and in between them you are having the mantle. Then we discussed about the various terminology with respect to earthquake. Now, when we will move further, then at that time you will be clear with all the concepts of the earthquake because the terminology is now clear to you. What is earthquake? Suddenly when the earth starts moving, then that sudden shake, it is earthquake. Then we discussed about seismic focus. It is the point from where the shock waves are originating inside the earth's crust. Then it is also called as hypocenter or seismic origin. It is located at the depth of about 60 km below the earth's crust. Then if we talk about the next particular definition, then it was epicenter. Epicenter is the point that is located exactly above the seismic focus on the ground. Then focal depth, the depth at which the seismic focus is creating the seismic waves, and if the depth is of about 60 to 70 kilometer, then it is shallow earthquake. 70 to 300, then it is intermediate, and more than 700 kilometer, then it is called as the deep one. So that is about the focal depth. Then seismic waves, those waves that are generated in the lithosphere due to the sudden movement in the earth's crust, that is called as seismic waves or shock waves. Then these waves are recorded, and they are recorded by using the instrument which is called a seismograph, and the graphical intensity of the shock waves is recorded on the graph, and that is called a seismogram. Then the Richter scale. Richter scale is the scale which is used to describe the magnitude of the earthquake. In our next session, we will study about what are earthquakes and where do they occur and what are the basic causes of the earthquake. So, with this, we wind up with our today's session. Thank you so much, my dear students, for listening to me and have a very good day. That's all. Bye bye.